What's going on, Jerome's? The future of Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer and general manager Rick Spielman, they're certainly up in the air. But now we're talking. Starting to get some meaty rumors, sources, reports, all that good stuff. The Athletic, go. Vikings ownership is preparing to meet before Sunday's game to discuss potential changes at the top of the organization. Sources tell Chad Graff. It appears all options are on the table. And also, we need to be prepared for the option of stay the course. Because Zimmer and Spielman are signed through 2023. Got to pay out 2 years on both of those jabronis, as well as wash out the coaching staff and probably the scouting staff. That's a lot of money. So I don't think that ownership is going to make this decision rashly. But yeah, we got to be prepared for that. Now, bottom line, yeah, Zimmer gets a lot of the heat because of the results on the field, but Spielman deserves some heat too, because look at the depth of this team. Even though injuries happen to everyone, it was Spielman who decided that Sean Mannion should be QB2. Right, but they missed playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years. They've had 1 playoff win in 4 seasons. They have not been above 500 at any point since 2019, and also they have only 1 NFC title game appearance in 8 years. Now, for some teams, sure, that would be a success. If the Lions had that success over the last 8 years, yes. But the Wilfs, they want to win championships, they want to win rings, they want to go after it, and they've been patient. Respect. I love that about them as owners. They hire good people and then they let them work. But sometimes a change is needed, especially the way that this season and last season have crash landed. So Zimmer, Spielman, the scouting department, guys include like Ryan Mowens, Jamal Stevenson, etc. What's going to be the future of them? And I do believe that all options are on the table as of right now. You could see Zimmer fired and then Spielman and the scouting department retained. Easily could see that. Although, like we said, it's very rare for a GM to pick a third head coach as opposed to, just a second one, right? So Spielman picks his third head coach. That would be it. That would be it for Rick Spielman. Or you could see Zimmer and Spielman getting fired. New GM brought in. He brings in his own head coach. But the scouting department is retained through the draft because you're too far along down draft season preparation, free agent preparation. And that's what generally happens, where if a GM is fired, new GM comes in, he'll bring in some of his own people, but they'll generally rely on some of the existing scouting department, and especially the scouts, because they've already gone too far down draft preparation. Then after the draft, then everyone's fired. Right, and then the GM brings in everyone else and staff things up from then. But I think the least likely scenario is Spielman is fired and then Zimmer is retained. Maybe you see this sometimes too, where a new GM comes in, but he'll keep the old head coach from the previous regime. That happened with George Paton, Vic Fangio in Denver. John Elway hired Fangio. George Paton came in. It certainly was his prerogative to hire his own head coach, but he's like, yeah, we'll see what happens with Fangio. And to a degree, it's a little bit of buffer. It's like, well, obviously we didn't win this year because I don't have my own head coach. All right, so that's sort of a deal. But I think that's the least likely in this spot. I think it's either a clean slate or it's just Zimmer that's fired. And also, Kirk Cousins would have to factor into the conversation as well, because I think if Rick Spielman is axed, then I think Kirk Cousins potentially could be traded. He certainly won't be extended, but if Spielman is here, then Kirk Cousins may actually end his career as a Vikings quarterback. Get an extension, lower his cap number. We'll see. And also, don't discount the possibility of Rick Spielman being promoted, and then a new general manager being brought in, a la, like we mentioned, with the Broncos. John Elway was the de facto GM for a decade plus, and then is like, I'm going to fire myself upstairs, and then we're going to bring in George Paton. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, and also it's important to note that they're doing this before the game on Sunday. So Zimmer's like, well, if we just beat the Bears on a last-second play, cool. Maybe they'll sway opinion. It won't. I don't think it will. That's why it's stupid that they're not giving the young guys some play. But again, that's digress there. But the winds of change. It's an exciting, but also no, it's an exciting time. I was gonna say it's not, but also don't. I do not subscribe to the, well, it could get worse. What if the next head coach is Les Steckel? Don't care. All right, so that's why you're going to stay with a head coach who has not had a winning record since 2019. It's like, yeah, stay with the bad guy because someone else could be worse. Please. That's such, I don't even know how to describe it besides just stuck in the mud. And as we've explained, that's how people stay in bad relationships, man, because they're afraid of the unknown. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Go bold. Let's go get some, man. I'll be your thoughts, our thoughts. Report. Vikings owners set to meet to discuss the future. That's right. Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.